Time for Smart Money. And let's check in with our Fox 40 financial analyst, Keith Springer. Mr. Springer, we expected a disappointing opening today, and we have not been disappointed. We're down 125 points. What's going on?
Well, I think, don't tell anybody, but I think it's because the Mayans, the world didn't end, and I think all the investors spent all the money. So I think because they woke up and the world was still here, this is what happened.
Maybe that's what the Mayans foresaw. They just foresaw a market crash, and we've mistaken it for the end of the world.
That would make sense.
That's what they thought, yes. Over the cliff. They weren't sure which cliff, so they thought it was the whole world.
Wow.
So now this is reaction. I'm assuming last night John Boehner had the House of Representatives assembled. He was going to get this vote on Plan B, and he had to pull the plug on it because he apparently recognized he didn't have enough votes to hold up his end of the argument. That's what this is this morning?
Yeah, very much so. The Republican caucus can't seem to stay together. Boehner doesn't have control. He is the House Speaker, but he doesn't have control. There seems to be a larger, more powerful faction in the Republicans. They don't want to do any tax increases whatsoever. Boehner, as you know, came out with a tax increase for over $1 million. Obama countered with over 400,000. And all of a sudden, the rest of the caucus, the rest of the Republicans said, hey, we don't want to do any tax increases on anybody. And that just sort of put it into disarray because they're going to go home for Christmas. They shouldn't be allowed to, but they're going to go home for Christmas. And it means there's not going to be a vote until after Christmas, which only leaves them a few days, which raises the concern that we won't have a deal by the end of the year on the fiscal cliff.
Some lumps of coal are in order for these guys. Hey, one quick, if I get a quick answer before we run here. All we're dwelling on is fiscal cliff. Normally, year end, as we're getting into Christmas and heading towards New Year's, if it's not a crisis like this in Washington, D.C., what the market just kind of hangs in limbo?
You know, typically this is a good week. This is what's called the Santa Claus rally. And that's the week before New Year's when you have the market go up in anticipation of the January effect. A lot of new money comes into January, a lot of window dressing, a lot of portfolio managers buy at the end of the year. So usually the last week of the year is a very strong week. But because of the fiscal cliff, it's really taken it down, and it's taken some of the wind out of the sails for sure. Okay, yeah, and of course, if we go off the cliff, a whole lot of public money disappears from the market starting in January. Exactly, yes.
Yeah, we got to run. Keith, thank you. We'll catch you later on. And folks, if you have any questions for Keith Springer, you can send them to money@fox40.com or pick up the phone during the day. Call them directly at 916-925-8900.
And now let's get to Sheldon Orvis in the Atlantis Reno Traffic Center.
Hey, Bethany, taking a look at